Hey guys, Take2 is back and we're watching Bill and Ted. Should be a sound effect right there. Hey guys, and welcome to Take2. This is where we take a look back at movies that we love, maybe ones that we haven't seen in a while, but still hold a near and dear place in our hearts. And today we are talking Bill and Ted. Bill and Ted, obviously we know the two movies, right? We have Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure that came out in 1988, and then we have Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey that came out in 1991. So the first film, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, tells a story of best friends and bandmates Bill and Ted. They have to complete a history report or they're going to be separated forever, which is most heinous for these guys. They are actually confronted by Rufus over here, who comes from the future and tells them that their music is going to unite and save the world. So them failing this history report is not in the cards for them. They have to be successful in order to fulfill their future. Rufus gives them a handy dandy phone booth, which they use as a time machine to actually get historical figures, bring them back to present time, and hopefully will be able to complete and pass their report. The second film, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, keeps the same idea where their music is going to unite and save the world in the future. But there's a big baddie in the future who does not want that to happen. He creates evil robot versions of Bill and Ted, sends them to their present to murder them, take them out, live in their place, and share the message of this big bad baddie. So obviously Bill and Ted have to get their lives back pretty much. On the way, I should say, they visit the afterlife, heaven and hell, and meet some crazy characters as well. So I think everyone's pretty familiar with the Bill and Ted films. For me personally, surprisingly, the first one I didn't watch that much as a kid. I didn't even really knew that it existed. It was actually the second one, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, that I watched several times when I was a kid. For some reason, at some point, we ordered Pizza Hut as a family, and they gave us a free version of Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, like in this really slim, like paper sleeve, and it just came with the order. So we popped it in and watched it, and yeah, that was my introduction to Bill and Ted. It wasn't until I was an adult where I really started maybe even finding out that there was an Excellent Adventure, the first one, and actually had watched it multiple times again as an adult. The reason why I even know these movies as much as I do right now is because of my husband. He is crazy about them, loves Bill and Ted, everything to do with it, and I find it charming. So the first film, obviously, like we said, is our introduction to these characters. They have to go back in time to get these historical characters to help pass their history report. And like we said, it's the first time we see these guys, and they're high school kids, you know, they're in a band and they're going to be superstars one day, right? Because Van Halen's going to be in their band. Why not? It's fun to see them, especially when they are interacting with these historical characters. Obviously, they're on completely different wavelengths from these guys, not only in cultural norms, right? They don't know how to really communicate with them either because of sometimes there being a language barrier, things like that. But to see the juxtaposition of them standing next to, you know, Socrates or Socrates, it's very weird to see, but because of who they are, you just you're charmed by them instantly. So, time travel movie in the 80s. Of course, you probably think Back to the Future. This is nothing like that. It's very, very different. Back to the Future, Marty obviously has to be very aware of the things that he says, the people that he talks to, just to make sure that he doesn't mess up the space-time continuum. None of that is in Bill and Ted. It's just focused mainly on these guys getting what they need, bringing these historical figures back to accomplish their big task. We never have to worry about space-time continuum. We never have to worry about them messing up the past or messing up the future because they are present in the past. None of that stuff. Just simple, fun, oddball humor. It's just, you turn your brain off and just sit back and enjoy this one. Some of my favorite moments is definitely they bring all of their historical figures back, but they're missing one. So they take the group over to the mall tell them, they get them food, right? Get them snacks, make sure they're settled in, tell them to wait in the food court while they go and find the one person that has kind of run off. And of course, chaos ensues. You know, Bill and Ted comes back, and all of the historical figures are all over the place, just raising havoc in their own weird way in the entire mall, and it's fun to see. So where the first movie is a lot lighter and a fun adventure through time, the second movie, slightly darker and is a journey through the afterlife. They go to heaven, they go to hell, they actually meet death himself, and they go through this bogus journey. So for me personally, I do enjoy Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey better than the first one. Little biased because I did see that one first and saw it obviously more than the first one growing up. But I feel like even though Bogus Journey is a lot more insane and crazier, the things that they get themselves into, I believe it a lot more because of their motives behind it. So with this one, they're honestly saving themselves and the world. So some of my favorite moments with Bogus Journey is their personal hells. So the evil robot versions of them ends up killing them. They end up getting sent to hell. And both Bill and Ted each have their own personal hells that they kind of have to go through in order to get out. Also, one of my favorite moments, they get to hell, they have to get out, and the way that they escape hell is they actually have to beat death at a bunch of different board games. So to see that montage kind of happen, I don't really want to call it a montage, but that series of scenes happen where they're trying to compete in these games, and they're not like big games that you've never heard of. No, they're board games. So they're playing Clue, they're playing Battleship, you know, and it's really, really fun to see.
Damn right!
So honestly, the real reason to watch these movies is for Alex and Keanu. So Bill and Ted, played by Alex Winter and Keanu Reeves, their performances are phenomenal. So obviously Keanu Reeves, you're familiar with his work. John Wick, Neo, Matrix, all of that stuff. That is not the Keanu that you see in this movie. If all you know of Keanu is, you know, John Wick, Neo, definitely check this out because it's something that you haven't seen before. And it works. He's phenomenal. He's just charming. It comes off so authentic, and yeah, you just instantly fall in love with him. Same thing for Alex Winter. Alex Winter was in Lost Boys. He was in a movie called Freaked. I'm not going to review Freaked. Aww. He is still phenomenal in this movie as Bill. And them together is just harmony. It just works perfectly. And it's great and cool to know that even to this day, they're still super, super close friends, like 25 years later, right? And my understanding is that they actually met in the audition room for Bill and Ted. Right? So they met in the audition room for Bill and Ted, got called in to read together, and boom, it just worked. Bill and Ted were born. It was phenomenal. And still to this day, they still got it. They're still close friends, and it's really, really nice to hear. Okay, so one of the main characters in the movie as well is Rufus. And Rufus is the messenger from the future who comes and tells them that they're going to save the world, and they got to pass a report. He's pretty much the vessel for the adventure. Rufus is played by George Carlin. And George Carlin, my introduction to George Carlin was his comedy from my father. So my dad he loves stand-up comedians, right? So I remember seeing like the album covers for his comedy records. And I was always told that I couldn't listen to them because I was little, right? Couldn't listen to him because he was potty mouth, he was this, that. I actually think I might have seen Dogma, which he is also in, before Bill and Ted as well. Christ didn't come to give us the willies. So the two movies as a whole, I honestly, when you look at them separately, I don't think they should work together. But because of Bill and Ted and their characters pretty much as one, it makes it just kind of click. Even though they go on completely different adventures in both of them, they say the same, so it does feel very linear, I guess you could say. Like, it just flows together. Watching them now, I think that it's dated. You know what I mean? Some of the things they say are super cheesy. The script is, cheese, but that's why you watch them. If you go in knowing that, it's just turn your brain off, you're just here to have a couple fun laughs and just kind of be entertained, you're going to enjoy yourself. And I do think that you would enjoy both of them. They're just super fun rides. At the end of the second one, you're like, what just happened? I don't know, but I'm glad I saw it. I like these guys, and I hope they're successful in anything else that they do. So after years, they finally made a third Bill and Ted, and Jack and I went and saw it at the drive-in last night. Bill and Ted Face the Music. Tells the story again of our characters, Bill and Ted. They have not written the song that is supposed to unite the world and save the future, and they're running out of time, so they have to figure out what the song is and how it's going to unite the future. And it was fun. We really enjoyed ourselves. I'm telling you, the reason to watch these movies is these characters. And it's the reason to watch the third one, just to see these guys back in action, doing their thing after almost 20 years of being apart from each other. Definitely watch the first two. Go and watch Bill and Ted Face the Music. You're going to smile, and it's going to be fun. All right, guys, that's it for this one. Again, thanks for watching. Go watch the first two Bill and Ted movies, and do not miss out on Bill and Ted Face the Music. Thanks again, guys. We'll see you later. But Bill and Ted the musical, that should be a thing. They go back in time. It's same. They'll put two movies together. So back in time, go the Old West. They're gonna get Billy the Kid. We have a can-can line for saloon girls, right? And then they go to hell, and they have to play death in the games. And they could be like actual like battleships, boom, sinking, right? Then we go to hell. We see tap dancing demons. Go to Waterloo. There's a splash zone. First two rows. That would be phenomenal. Bill and Ted's excellent musical. TM.